How's it going, guys? This is Chris from the SSG, giving you guys an SSG Quickie. Literally, I'm doing this from my cell phone, just to give a bit of an update on a few things, because I know we didn't have an episode this past weekend, as we thought we would have. I was out of town for a wedding. I tried to get Mitch to do a podcast, to do a show, and it wasn't to his liking. He didn't really he wasn't really happy with the results. So this is kind of the I guess you could say the pre-show before we officially release one for this coming weekend, which it should be a go. This won't be classified as an actual episode. Bear in mind, I'm doing this entirely off script. So, anyways, big news. I guess you could say the only thing that really comes to mind. There's not a ton of stuff that has really come out. Nothing to really talk about that I see on just doing some searches. You've got there's a discussion on IGN about Netflix, the Witcher cast versus the video game characters. Kotaku's got a video game collecting tips for beginners. And 50 classic Atari video games just launched on Microsoft's Xbox One consoles. I'm actually kind of interested in this. But it seems that the Atari Flashbacks Classic Volume 3 retails for $20, which makes each video game in the bundle valued at just 40 cents. This is on I don't know who this website is, but it's on MSFT. This was written by Brad Stevenson, just to give a little credit to the author. So those of you who are actually interested in old school Atari games, they're bringing 20 new games, 20 new old games to Microsoft or to Xbox One, which is fantastic. I do want to give a little bit of a small review, just to kind of tide you guys over as far as the Xbox All Access and how that actually works, and if it is actually worth it as well. And I think that on this coming up episode of the SSG podcast, I will give a bit of a review of Forza Horizon 4, because I've been doing nothing but playing that game every night, and it's been a blast. So as far as the Xbox All Access, you have to go to a Microsoft store. You have to open a credit line through Dell financing services. That's a little bit of a scary thing to go through, because you have to willingly go into debt for the price of the console, the Xbox Live Gold, and the Game Pass. The interesting aspect, though, is that though you do go into debt, you can essentially pay as much as you want as soon as you want to. So for those of you who are wanting to build up credit, this might not be a bad way of going about doing things. It's just that you need to make at least the minimum payments each month. I plan on making a little bit more per month, somewhere around the $25 range, but I think it's about $22, $23 and some change that you must pay each month, or bad things start to happen. In other words, you get interest in that you want to avoid interest. I'm not trying to turn this into some kind of a credit segment, but I just want you all I just want you to realize that you need to avoid gaining interest on any kind of credit card or financing. Doing financing through some place like Dell. So you have 2 years to pay on this. You get locked into a 2-year deal where if you paid the minimum for 2 years, you would avoid interest, and you essentially it's a 24-month no interest as long as you pay everything on time. And I can kind of go through the price of everything. So when I went to the store, you sign up. You'll get approved. The amount of time it takes to get approved depends on how long it takes for you to enter in the information. You have to enter in how much you make annually. Just a rough estimation. I just took my hourly rate and multiplied it up until I got how much I make per year. And then you go about Once you get you approve, like I said, it takes just a few minutes. An interesting thing that happened with me, and you may want to double check if you decide in the future to go and do this, is that they had multiple bundles to offer. So I thought I was just going to be getting a flat, console, Xbox One S. The salesman tried to upsell me on the Xbox One X. If you do not have a 4K TV, or you do not see yourself purchasing one within the near future, don't go for it. There's absolutely no need for it. You'll be paying about $10 more per month, and it's just I just don't. I mean, I understand some people want to go big or go home, but we're trying to be financially responsible here and not get into too much debt, because you do have to sell your soul essentially. So what you want to do is, or what I did, you do whatever you want to do. I just thought it was funny that the salesman tried his hardest to get me to upgrade to the One X, especially when he saw my how much credit, not credit, but how much I could finance up to. I wasn't interested in that in the least bit, and I kind of let him know that, right out of the gate and multiple times. But though, so the bundles though, it was very intriguing, and they had I think a 2K19 NBA 2K19 bundle. I think they had Assassin's Creed Odyssey bundle, or was it Origins? Yeah, I think it was Origins. They had a couple of other game bundle packs, which I really wasn't all that interested in. I was more so inclined to go for anything that could get me an additional controller, because the price and value of games will always drop. They'll always go on sale. They'll always be cheaper. But getting another controller, in my opinion, is of a greater value. And they actually had an additional controller bundle, which I immediately said, yes, that is the one I want. So I thought that was a really cool aspect to the whole thing, where you end up getting more than just the game console, which is what I thought was going to be the case. You can get the option of getting another game, or in my case, if you're lucky, you can get the option of a additional controller bundle. Because I love multiplayer games, I love co-op, and just thought it's always nice to have at least an extra controller, because the one you use may go bad or something like that. And it's something that's happened on my PlayStation 4, where my original controller, I think, kind of went a little bad because I played it so much, and then I ended up having to use my backup controller, which would have been Player 2 controller, but regardless. So the process was fairly easy. It wasn't stressful, really, in the least bit. Once they added everything up, like I said, 2 years of Xbox Live Gold, 2 years of Xbox Game Pass, my final total, tax and all, turned out to be $565, and you have 2 years to pay that off. That's not that hard at all. If you budget things accordingly, you can get that paid off in a year. Less than that if you really dedicate yourself to it. So I think the deal is pretty good. I remember the Game Pass card would have come out to be $240, I think, and the Xbox Live Gold for 2 years was $120. So that's $360 value, meaning that the console bundle was only about $200. You're not saving a massive amount, but I just think it opens up the potential for more people to get the system, while also building your credit, which if you're an American, that's a very important thing to do. So beyond that, how do I feel about Xbox now that I actually own one? What is it? How are the servers? I think Xbox is fine. I don't see it being any. My view with both Microsoft and Sony when it comes to their consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they're the same thing. They do the same exact thing. They just have different window dressing. It just looks a little different. I do like the fact that the whole mixer aspect, which is the Xbox's streaming service, it's incorporated into, easily incorporated into their UI. I think that's a really, really nice touch. I've not tried streaming yet, but it's something that I look forward to kind of doing in the future, and it looks like it's a much simpler process to a degree than PlayStation 4. It looks like they really tried to build a community up through the whole process, which is really nice. Going through the shops and all that, it feels a little weird. It's not as, I'm not going to say I have a problem with both the PlayStation Store and with the Xbox Store, or Microsoft Store, whatever they want to call it. I have my own problems with both of those. They're good, but they're not great. Trying to get through to find games on Game Pass can be a little confusing at times, because I don't know, this like they want to push the featured games, so much. But you can see what games are on sale. You can, easily. Which, by the way, the Xbox One S that you end up getting, I like the white color. Let me tell you something. That is a beautiful console. Opposite from, because I have the PS4 and I also have a Switch, and just saying, having it sit like right above my PlayStation, it looks really nice. Aesthetically, it's more pleasing to me. Just having the white, it's just something different, and the controllers are also white, so it just feels really nice. I like the system. I've been doing nothing but playing with the system ever since I've gotten it. I'm giving it more love than my PlayStation right now, because what need do I have for a PlayStation outside of PlayStation exclusives? You've got 2 years worth of Xbox Live Gold, meaning you get all these games through Game Pass, through the Xbox Live Gold. Like once a month, every month you get a couple of games for free. I've got a terabyte hard drive, which is nearly full. I got another 260 gigabytes to go on it, but I've got 16 games on this thing, and I can load up any of them that I want. And if I'm not happy with them, we can get rid of it, and I can go get another one through Game Pass. I will admit, Game Pass doesn't have as much to offer as they like to think they do. There's a ton of games on there, but a lot of them, I want to say probably 75% of them, we'll say 70%, are nothing but indie games. They're very low quality, not games that I would really see myself playing with all the time, strictly because of the fact that they are just, they're kind of meh. There are some really top tier titles on there. You can get both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. You can get Elder Scrolls Online, Sea of Thieves, which I've yet to try out. Forza Horizon 4 is a big deal, and like I said, I'll mention more about that come the actual podcast. But I'm gonna say Doom 2016 is on there. City Skylines, which I'm in love with, is on there. So there's a vast there's a lot of games to play on the system, but not so much on the system. There's always tons of games on the system, but for the Game Pass, there's a lot of stuff on there. Plenty of stuff, I think, in order to find something for everyone. I wish there was a few more here and there, but it's. If you want more, I guess you got to go with EA Access, which is like another $10 a month, which would be cool to do. It'd be really cool to do, to be able to play the Battlefronts or not the Battlefronts, but the Battlefields, which would pretty much be the only reason to get that, in my opinion. Maybe the sports games, last year's sports games and whatnot would be nice to have. But overall, I think the Xbox All Access is a really good deal. Depending on your credit history, your financial situation, If you don't like paying for things all up front, which is kind of the way that I am, I would much rather pay things off on a monthly basis and, have a base minimum of how much I have to pay, and then increase on that. It's like how I deal with my car payment, where I'm, there's a little, I can pay this little amount, but I'd prefer to pay as much as I really can, in order to maximize it and get it paid off quicker. So, guys, that will be it for the SSG Quickie. I just want to give a little bit of content for you guys to listen to, since we didn't have an episode this past weekend. But we will be having episode 16, which should debut Sunday or Monday, depending on how the editing goes. So thank you guys so much for listening. If, in all honesty, if you want to, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook, though we don't really use that all that much. But still, though, guys, thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following, and we'll catch you guys later. Take care.